Xin chao, what's up everybody? It's your boy Bats. Alright, so we're going to do a bunch of news today. We're going to talk about the visa situation. We're going to talk about what's going on with the CCP virus here. A lot of different stuff. It might be a long one, maybe 10 to 20 minutes, we'll see. Before we get into the video though, I'd appreciate it if you smash that like button, subscribe to the channel, hit the notifications to all to see more good content like this. And comment if you want to comment. Also, we started a new channel which is going to be coming into needed to use soon because we're going to be going into pretty much a full lockdown, in my opinion, very soon. That's the IRL streaming channel. So I'll be streaming from at home, and when I can IRL, I'll do that as well. The link to that is in the description. If you could subscribe to that as well, it would greatly be appreciated. Okay, so first things first, the church has over 220 people now infected in 20 of the 22 districts in Saigon, Ho Chi Minh City now, which is, it's a super spreader event. It's gotten to every district. What's going to happen now is Saigon's going to attempt to mass test everyone, which is going to be a difficult feat. I think there's like 9 to 10 million people here. So they're going to attempt to do a mass test to try to trace it as best they can and find who's infected. Yeah, these tests aren't, perfect. There's going to be false negatives and false positives. But I still think it's a step in a good direction for controlling this thing. I don't see the harm in doing it. I have no problem taking the test. As far as like lockdown rules, it's really still GovOp that's got a do not leave order in place, and a ward in District 12. So far it's still just those two areas where they really are heavily suggesting that you stay at home and not leave. Here we can still go walk around. We just have to socially distance and wear a mask. I think that's going to change really soon. I give it end of the week probably before there's a mass curfew in place for the whole city, a kind of almost mandatory stay at home unless it's for groceries or an emergency, and a work at home order. It's coming. Like, we're on borrowed time. The Vincom Plaza, the mall, that Vincom mall was closed because one of the they have offices there, and one of the staff there came up positive for the test, so they shut that whole place down. That's why that mall was shut. It would be shut anyways, but that's why they did it. There's also other office buildings reporting F1 cases. So it's just a real borrowed time. I have an IT business here, and quite a few companies have already started to set up laptops and stuff for working at home, way more than they did even the first wave. This is going to be the worst wave now. This is going to be the worst lockdown, in my opinion, and this is going to last probably the longest. So as ever, we're going to still create content, and we're going to do our thing. Ain't nothing going to slow me down. Hi fan club, you guys aren't going to slow me down. We're just going to keep making content. So I'll start reading news articles now, and then we'll do the visa thing at the end. I'll talk about the tourist visa, the expert visa, the investor visa, all these different visas. We'll talk about them, and the crackdown, and the panic that is supposedly, I don't use Facebook, but people send me screenshots and stuff of people freaking out on there. So we'll talk all about that stuff. Yeah, as of 2 hours ago, the domestic COVID case count up by 53. Ho Chi Minh City Christian. Let me get you the exact number of cases too. Go over to Vienna Express. They've got a counter around here. Here we go. Okay. Hanoi has 416 cases now, up 2. Bac Ninh 879, up 3. Bac Ging 2,424, up 48. Ho Chi Minh City 227, and almost all those cases come from the Christian group. And nothing wrong with that. I'm not hating on the Christian group in any way, but they were doing sessions in a GovOp alley that's like this, wide enough to barely fit a motorbike, packing in 50 to 200 people and doing prayer and all these things very close for long extended periods of times when we weren't supposed to be gathering in numbers larger than 20. So there is some fault there on their part. I've talked about before, a few of them had felt sick and waited to go get tested. And like I said, they're from all over the city. So, and with all the people they've contacted, they've contacted and been in contact with 20 of the 22 districts. So this is just going to be a snowball effect that's just going to keep happening and happening and happening. There isn't much that's going to slow this train down. Yeah. And even, the government saying the Christian COVID cluster most dangerous, says the health minister. Pretty much the same thing I just said. We're at a point of no return. So as far as flights go, international incoming is halted at Hanoi now and at Saigon, Ho Chi Minh City, and it looks like it's probably going to stay like that for a month. So all you guys that are on an expert visa hoping to get here, you're probably looking at a pretty seriously long delay. I would say a couple months maybe. It depends on how bad this gets, how well it can get contained. It's all, we don't know. As things change, I'll keep reporting for you, but I know a lot of you got expert visa guys that are already approved, and gals. Watch my channel, watch for the news. I don't think it's looking good for you right now. They're not even processing the visas anymore as well. That's on hold. So it's really not looking good in a good timeline for you. I would start to maybe plan for something else for the next few months. Definitely the realistics of you getting here soon is probably just not going to happen. And be realistic about it, And for all you coming in on an expert visa, legit job, I'm all for it. Like, I don't have a problem with it at all. Yeah. So the other kind of big screw up that happened is they closed GoVop, right? They even walled it off, but they didn't plan for the traffic. And on Monday morning, they went into a complete gridlock in the GoVop area where people were less than a half a foot apart on motorbikes for up to an hour gridlocked with thousands of people. So again, that could be some kind of super spreader event. We don't know yet. We don't know the logistics. They're going to test everyone now, so time will tell on these things. I definitely think it's going to get worse than what it is. There's no way to know, and I only report on what's actually out there, what's news published. I'm not here to create theories of what's going to happen and fake news essentially. So I'm just giving you what's out there. As of now, it's still kind of semi-contained, and I still think they're doing a pretty decent job. Revoke Christian. They want to revoke the license from the Christian church as well, says the ministry. They're going to really hammer down, and they're going to show example with this group of people. They're going to say, hey, you can't just flaunt the rules and do whatever you think you want to do. Let's see. So I talked about the international flights. They've also doubled down on domestic flights. So there's a very limited amount of domestic flights per day. I'll get you the exact number, but traveling around Vietnam right now is probably not a good idea if you're living in Vietnam right now. It's best to come up with a game plan that you're going to be inside, especially if you're in Saigon and Hanoi. It looks like Da Nang's doing pretty well. They might be out of the lockdown in a few weeks, which is good for them. Hoi An's already opened back up. A lot of the expats from Da Nang are going to Hoi An to drink and hang out and party, which nothing wrong with that either, man. If it's deemed open and good to go, well, more power to you, man. Party it up. So let's see. Total 63 flights. So five Vietnamese airlines are only allowed to operate a total of 63 flights to and from Tan Son Nhat Airport every day, the Civil Aviation Authority said. So that's like a quarter of what the normal flights would be domestically. And I suspect that as this gets worse, that'll even drop, and they'll probably just ban domestic travel altogether for a period of time until it can be really gotten under control. Let's see. So again, I'm doubling down on the likelihood of getting here if you're an expert visa it's just probably not going to happen, you know. So yeah, the cases are ramping up. The church definitely had a super spreading event to the entire city. It's got the city more worried. I'm gonna go out and vlog again today. I can still walk around. I just have to socially distance and wear my mask, which I have no problem doing. So that's what I do. I'm not gonna go up to a group of people and hang out with them right now. But I can go out. I can get some air. I can walk around, film some things. That's not a problem still. If they ask and make it mandatory to stay at home for my district, I'll comply, no problem, as I always have in the past. I'm not a rule breaker or flaunter. I have no problem with staying inside if that's what you want me to do. No problems listening. Let's see here. So 1,800 illegal entrants detected in May. So that's probably... If they caught 1,800, they missed 1,800. To see what happens with all that jazz. I would say that probably some infections have come from illegal crossovers. We won't know. There's no way to really know. The main thing that they can find and have evidence on is the Christian group. So that's the narrative right now. So let's talk about the visa scenario real quick. So yeah. There's this big thing with the tourist visas and only issuing 1 month. And you got to understand there's two different kinds of tourist visas here right now, which a lot of people fail to mention on their YouTube when they shoot this video. There's the regular one that you did before COVID. Like, for example, most Americans did a 1-year tourist visa where when they got it, they had to do a border jump every 90 days to get their stamp redone. Now, they changed that law in January to 30 days. For what reason, I don't know. But that's the government's prerogative to do what they want to do with that. But that's neither here nor there. There's another kind of tourist visa, which is the humanity one, which is if you were here in March and you got stuck during the COVID, they keep just renewing that every 30 days on a humanitarian rights thing. That seems to still be going okay. I haven't heard of anyone really getting kicked out on that one. Now, for the tourist one that I was just talking about, they've been here over a year, probably most likely a year and a half, 2 years on this tourist visa, and continuously renewing it through a visa agent for 90 days from anywhere from $350 to $550, whatever their agent charged them. Now, the problem now is a lot of people are trusting visa agents. You cannot trust your visa agent. They don't care about you in any kind of way. They don't care if you're here or not. Sure, they want your money, but they're not going to go to bat for you. And a lot of these big visa agents were doing the phony expert visas. So like, they're very inclined not to renew any kind of visa right now because they're under the scope of the government. So if you think you're being loyal to your visa agent and that's the only net that you're casting for trying to get your shit renewed and extended, that's where you're messing up. Same with the business visa where you don't have a sponsor. If you're using the same visa agent the whole time and you're like, this is my trusted agent, that's where you've done yourself wrong. You have to cast a wide net. Your best bet would be to find an agent that didn't do a bunch of bogus expert visa shit. And they're most likely going to help you get your shit done. And they're not going to have anyone under government scoping out their place. I'm not going to mention names, but it floats around in comments all the time. This highly reputable blah, blah, blah can get it done. She's going to get it done. Sorry, that's just, you put your future of your living here in one person's hands. And that's where you've made a mistake. Now, what it looks like to me is no one's getting a 90-day extension on this tourist thing. They're all getting a 30-day. Some are being told from the agent that it's pretty much an exit visa. They've got 30 days and then get out. I think probably that's what all of them are. They're probably all an exit visa. And like I said, your visa agent isn't going to be completely forthright with you. They're just going to say, you've got 30 more days and then we'll try again. I can't promise you anything, but after the 30 days, we'll try again. I would say it's time to make plans to move. Do I think it's kind of ridiculous that they're making you leave? Yeah, I don't. The system's been like this for 10 plus years where people have been doing this. So like, the only reason that this is happening is because they're saving face because this COVID thing's getting so out of control, and they're trying to mitigate the damage as best they can. And they don't want this to come up as like, firepower against them. So they're trying to mitigate that now, if you get what I'm saying. Now, as far as the expert visa thing goes, the jig is up on that. They are going ham on ham. They are making sure you're getting a legit job. They are making sure that you have a college degree. They are interviewing you all about the job, all about the company you're going to be working for. Everything's on the up and up on that now. There is no, you get hired at a shill company and they don't check anything and you can fake all the paperwork. That shit is done. That train has sailed. I don't know if that'll ever come back. I would imagine probably so after all this is over. Like this wave, if it goes how it is, but I don't think that's what's going to happen this time. I think this fourth wave is going to last a long time. And then vaccination's going to happen, and then they'll have a whole new program for how their visa system works, is what I think. I kind of think the expert visa boat is pretty much done for the year. It's possible it might come back. It's possible that this wave can get controlled pretty quickly, and we'll be back to normal in a month. Yeah, it's very possible. Even a few weeks, sure. But the likelihood of that, we're in a small percentage now, as far as I'm concerned. So, that jig is up. Now, the other one I want to talk about is the investor visa, because that's actually the most popular ones that expats would do here. They would do they would pay a lady $1,800 to $2,000. They would be signed on to a company as an investor, sometimes appointed some kind of position in this shill company, and then this shill company would file for a loss every year, so no taxes would be paid. In my opinion, that's going to be the next thing they're going to look at. They're going to check these companies. I already saw a few kind of news articles about this, so pretty much all the kind of fake visa shit is going to get looked at now, and I don't know how bad it's going to be. I think you're not going to see too much fallout from it. You might see a couple people get popped so they can make a news article about it and kind of scare people out from trying to do it again. That's usually what this is. It's the same like, the teacher thing that people were doing for a long time when they didn't have like a college degree and they just used a TEFL or a TESOL, or it really didn't have either, is every like 5 months the government would go and to a few schools, check the paperwork. If you didn't have the legit paperwork, they'd blacklist you. And most of the people couldn't afford the blacklist. It's $2,000 to $3,000. It depends on the situation, or who's ever's taking care of the paperwork, or if you hire an attorney. Sometimes it's even, everybody thinks like hiring an attorney is going to solve all their problems here. Their attorney will take $1,500 from you and then be like, oh, it's $2,000 to get off, so $3,500 together. So I mean, that's usually not affordable for most expats, so they just end up going home. But that's just stuff to do to make examples to kind of deter people from doing that kind of stuff. So as far as the tourist visa thing, if you're not on the humanitarian one, I think your time is up. And I don't know how much longer that humanitarian one's going to last. There could just be a month where they're like, we're not going to renew this anymore. You've got X amount to exit the country. If the virus continues to spread like this, that's what I think is going to happen. I think all the tourist visas, any kind of it, is going to kind of be asked to go. And yeah, it's really easy to say, oh, you've been here for 2 years, you should have already figured out your legal way. Do I agree with that? Yes, but I see the counterpoint to that has been business as usual here for 10 plus years. So like, same with the business visa with no sponsor, not really doing business here. That worked for 10 plus years here with no problem. So I see both sides to it, and I'm not trying to shame anyone that holds a tourist visa or anything like this. It's understandable. So yeah, that's really what's happening right now in Vietnam and in Saigon mainly. I think we're going to see a pretty heavy lockdown pretty soon. I don't know the timeline. It depends on how many cases are reported, how fast. They'll get to a point like, say if we have 1,000 cases in 2 days, I can almost promise you there'll be some draconian measures taken and, shutting down shit hardcore. Time will tell. As ever, I'll always keep you updated. I still have quite a few vlogs in the back in the catalog here from walking around. We've got Boy Vane coming up. I wanted to go to KTM and Ducati today. KTM's still open and so is Ducati, so go in there and price out some bikes so I can have a total thing on that, and then maybe go to the Honda dealer as well. They actually have a proper Honda dealer here with all the big sport bikes, so take a look at that. They've got the Firehawk and all that stuff. So All right, guys. Thanks for watching. As ever, smash that like button. We'll see you on the next one. Reporter Bear out. Me out. Peace out.